everybody! This is Splash of Gas with Dave Weichert, a NASCAR and racing podcast. Just like that, folks, the 2026 NASCAR season has begun. Great to be back in Daytona for some action on the high banks. 2 episodes this week with all the content and races to break down. We'll go over both duels, the trucks and ARCA races in this one. Cup drivers will square off Thursday night for 2 dual races. Open cars will duke it out for the remaining final spots in the Daytona 500. Friday marks the first race of the Truck Series season. Some big names entered in this 100-lap battle. Tony Stewart, Travis Pastrana, Cletus McFarland, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., plus all the regulars. ARCA will get the racing going on Saturday. Jake Finch, Gio Ruggiero, Bobby Dale Earnhardt, Gus Dean, Isabella Robusto, plus many others will be set for action. Pre-race garage chats with truck drivers Jake Garcia, Clay Greenfield, and Dawson Sutton, plus full-length interview with Andrés Pérez de Lara. Paint scheme of the week, NASCAR history time, discussions with Dave, and so much more on this episode of Splash of Gas. As always, we're sponsored by Magical Travel with Dave, aka Disney Dave Weichert, my father. He will be able to help you with all your Disney and Universal vacation needs. He can be reached at DisneyDaveW@Verizon.net. Please make sure you follow all the Splash of Gas social medias for midweek and on-track updates. Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube are all Splash of Gas with Dave Weichert. Now for the recap from Duel 1. The first duel would start a little bit after 7 p.m. on Thursday. After being the fastest in single-car qualifying the night before, winning the pole, Kyle Busch would be on the front row alongside Ryan Preece. The 3 open cars racing for one of the 2 final spots in the 500 would be Corey LaJoie, Chandler Smith, and Casey Mears. On lap 3, Preece clears Busch and moves to the outside lane. Most of the race would stay green. On lap 45, Preece, Buescher, among 8 others, pit. During that time, Casey Mears and Noah Gragson make contact coming to the pit road and both spin. The yellow flag comes out. The rest of the field would pit underneath the yellow. Chris Buescher and Joey Logano restart with 10 laps to go. 6 laps later, Bubba Wallace would get a push to the lead, but gets spun by Austin Dillon, collecting Buescher, Chandler Smith, and William Byron, pushing the race into overtime. This would give Casey Mears the free pass and put him back on the lead lap. Logano and Brad Keselowski restart up front into overtime. Final lap. Logano clears for the lead from Keselowski. Off the backstretch, moments later, Daniel Suarez makes contact with Corey LaJoie, who then makes contact with AJ Allmendinger, collecting all 3. The yellow would wave. Joey Logano was ruled the winner. Casey Mears would be declared ahead of Corey LaJoie, and Casey Mears would make the 500. Now on to the second duel, which would start shortly after. Chase Briscoe and Denny Hamlin take the pack to green. The last 3 open cars racing for the final spot in the 500 are J.J. Yealy, Anthony Alfredo, and B.J. McLeod. The race would stay green entirely, and pit stops start on lap 45. 5 laps later, the pit cycle would finish. Tyler Reddick would cycle to the lead. A lap later, Chase Elliott and Carson Hocevar clear for the lead. The pair would battle for the front spot alongside Kyle Larson, Michael McDowell, and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Chase Elliott holds it down and wins the second duel. Anthony Alfredo would finish up front of the open cars, looking like he had secured the final spot for the Great American Race and gave an emotional post-race interview. In the end, after the post-race inspection, it was ruled that his air duct did not meet up with the rules. The 62 of Anthony Alfredo would be disqualified, meaning BJ McLeod nabs the final spot in the Daytona 500 in 2026. Now for trivia answer time. This episode's question is, with all three series heading to Atlanta this upcoming weekend, which driver all time has the most Cup Series wins there? Answer coming at the end. Now for our pre-race Truck Series Garage Chats live from Daytona. First with Dawson Sutton. David Weiger here at Dawson Sutton. Just had the qualifying here for Daytona. How you feeling? What did you learn about the truck?
Yeah, man, I feel really good. Start 20th, a little bit farther back, but I think we have a really good truck for tonight. Hopefully, we can keep it up front, get some stage points, and make the right calls all night and stay out of the craziness. So, that's the goal, and hopefully, you can do what I just said, and just keep it up front.
Heck yeah! Clyde hard on Tuesday, didn't end the way you wanted. How did you feel there? Super late really looked fast though.
Oh yeah, had a really good car. Just came up a little short, but sometimes you'll have that overall all week long at New Smyrna. We were just a second place car, and you'll have those days. But I'm just thankful for my team that brought me such a great car, and I'm looking forward to coming next year.
Best of luck tonight.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, Dawson. David White here at Clay Greenfield. Qualifying session. Times look pretty good. How's the truck feeling tonight?
The truck felt really good. Of course, they usually feel good by themselves, but it turned nicely. Wanted to stay on the bottom, so especially coming off the corner, it just turned right on the yellow line. So that's good. Hopefully, or a good sign at least. We get going 3-4 seconds faster. We'll see how it does, but just look forward to this Backyard Blues Lure Drinks County Builders truck up front. Hopefully, have a good night. These are some of my favorite races to run, so looking forward to it.
You've had a lot of experience on the super speedways and some of the funner tracks, as you just said. How do you be patient in a long race like this tonight?
Well, I think I'm probably going to hang out and at least let them wreck once before I get after it. I feel like there's a lot of excitement, and I think people will be kind of jacked up for tonight. So I feel like that's the smartest thing to do. And then once that happens, start working our way forward. It's one of those things, to guarantee a solid finish, it's best to just hang out in the back all night, but then you don't have a chance of winning at that. So at some point you got to get up front, because you're going to need the people to draft with you towards the end. So you got to get up front and show that you have speed to be up front in order to have people help you at the end. So there's a little bit of a balance between playing it safe and getting up there to show the other people that, hey, that's somebody that's going to help me get to the front.
Got it. Appreciate all that insight. Best of luck tonight.
Yeah, thank you.
David White here, Jake Garcia, practicing the qualifying. Truck looked fast. How you feeling tonight, man?
Yeah, I'm excited for it. Good to be back in the truck this year. Just looking forward to tonight. I think it's going to be important to keep the truck in one piece and maintain good track position.
Got it. A long season ahead. How do you stay focused throughout it, man?
Yeah, I just think taking it one race at a time, just being prepared, keeping the same process throughout the year, just being consistent with your guys is what it's going to take to be solid every week, especially in the new points format that rewards consistency so much.
Got it. Thanks for touching upon that. Thanks again, man.
Thanks.
Best of luck. Thanks, Jake. Greatly appreciate the time from all three drivers. Now for the Truck Series recap. Trucks will get the action going Friday night. Ty Majeski wins the pole in qualifying, followed by Michael McDowell. The pair start on the front row. First yellow of the race occurs early on lap 6, as Cletus McFarland gets loose at a turn 4 in a single truck spin. Some pit during the caution. Michael McDowell and Carson Hocevar restart the pack. Taylor Gray will get a big push late in the first stage, but it wouldn't be enough to get past Hocevar. Carson Hocevar wins stage 1. The rest of the field pits under the stage yellow. John Hunter Nemechek and Daniel Hemrick restart on the front row for the second stage. Late in the middle stage, Lane Riggs, then Chandler Smith, takes turns at the front spot. With 4 laps to go in the stage, Jake Garcia and Tony Stewart tangle, ending stage 2 under yellow. Chandler Smith wins the middle stage. Nick Lights and Ty Majeski restart for the third and final stage. After 2 yellows for a spinning Carson Hocevar, Justin Haley and Taylor Gray restart. With 4 laps to go, Gray gets a tap from Majeski, collecting 2 others. This will put the race into overtime. Michael McDowell and Caden Honeycutt restart up front for the 2-lap overtime shootout. On the final lap, John Hunter Nemechek shoots out to the lead with Gio Ruggiero and Christian Eckes behind. John Hunter blocks Ruggiero, causing a stack-up. Chandler Smith dives underneath, Nemechek going 4 wide at the line. Chandler Smith beats Gio Ruggiero by 0.044 seconds. What an awesome 4-wide finish. More on that on Discussions with Dave. Now for the ARCA Series recap. ARCA would get the racing going at high noon on Saturday. Gus Dean wins the pole and leads the pack to green, alongside Nitro Motorsport teammate Isabella Robusto. After several wrecks resulting in a long red flag, then another yellow, Gus Dean and Jake Finch restart with 3 to go, with Gio Ruggiero and Daniel Dye behind them. With 2 to go on the backstretch, Ruggiero would push Jake Finch too much, sending Finch spinning into Gus Dean, taking out the 2 cars that had been leading much of this race, pushing the race into a 1-lap overtime shootout. Ruggiero gets the jump with Daniel Dye behind him. The outside lane fades as Jack Wood misses a shift. Dye could not catch Gio, and Gio Ruggiero is victorious at Daytona for Joe Gibbs on the ARCA Series. What a great race as well. Now a quick look back at the predictions we made for Trucks and ARCA. Trucks went with John Hunter Nemechek. He was there at the end and finishes 5th. ARCA, I went with Jake Finch. He was on the front row in the closing laps and finishes 20th. Now for yellow flag, green flag. Trucks, yellow. Unfortunate early wreck for Cletus McFarland, aka Garrett Mitchell. After his qualifying speed, I was hoping he was going to stay out and contend all those laps. Hope to see Cletus back in a truck soon. Trucks, green. Awesome 4-wide finish as we were talking, which gets closed out by Chandler Smith. ARCA, yellow. In all honesty, these guys were so close to a green flag, but such a tough break for Nitro Motorsports after they dominate most of the race. Green flag, ARCA, Joe Gibbs Racing, and Gio Ruggiero. The young Gio is showing that he is starting to be an ace on the super speedways, and he showcased that in the Joe Gibbs ARCA equipment. Now for Discussions with Dave, Part 1. Casey Mears and BJ McLeod each get the final spots in the Daytona 500. Did not see each of these guys making the race in all honesty. The least likely was the first guy that checked in his spot in Duel 1 was Casey Mears. Casey, a veteran of the Cup Series when he was racing full-time several years ago, but that 66 car just does not have the speed to really even keep up with the pack at times. And just the way the race went, Mears was involved in the first caution, had to get back on the lead lap, and then lucked out, stayed clear of that wreck, which got Chandler Smith, and then the one at the end that got LaJoie caught up, and now we see Mears race into the 500. He did have damage, though, from that wreck at the end. The team ultimately made the decision to take parts from the planned Atlanta car, and in the end, they will be racing in the Great American Race. Moving to the spot that was up for grabs in Duel 2, Anthony Alfredo, between BJ McLeod and JJ Yealy, was really the favorite in that 62 Beard Motorsports car. Yealy was out early. McLeod finished at the back of Duel 2. And as expected, Anthony Alfredo, as we first thought, was in the 500. He gave an emotional post-duel race interview saying how excited he is to lock himself into the Daytona 500. Post-race inspection proves that one of their air ducts did not meet NASCAR standards, but it passed inspection pre-race. Alfredo said that he thought the air duct got damaged and all the bumping and banging in the bump drafting that occurred in Duel 2. Still, nonetheless, BJ McLeod gets that final spot in the 500. Now for topic 2, fantastic truck finish. Ladies and gentlemen, the results are in from the Truck Series race. It was the most watched Truck Series race since 2016. As mentioned, had a stacked field. Travis Pastrana, Tony Smoke Stewart, Cletus McFarland, 2022 and 2023 Daytona 500 winners, Michael McDowell and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. And don't count out full-time Cup drivers Carson Hocevar and John Hunter Nemechek. Oh, and then we talk all about the full-time truck drivers, which are going to be up front. Chandler Smith, Caden Honeycutt, two-time truck champ Ben Rhodes, Ty Majeski. So much firepower in this one, and we saw that in the TV ratings, and it put on a fantastic show. Came down to a 4-wide finish in the end. I was standing in section 369, really in the beginning of turn 1, kind of the end of pit road. When they went by, you could not tell who won. Had to go to the replay and look at the board to see that Chandler Smith won that race. Was truly exciting. From the grandstands and on TV, as we saw with those ratings. And the excitement on track kept going Saturday morning with ARCA. As expected was a number of wrecks in the ARCA race, and those Nitro Motorsports cars, Gus Dean, who was on the pole and on the front row for practically the entire race, gets joined by Jake Finch, his Nitro Motorsport teammate, and they are leading that front row at the end, and it truly looked like one of them was going to win the race. Some bumping and banging occurred on the backstretch. Gio Ruggiero doesn't hit Jake Finch square. Jake Finch on the inside spins and collects Gus Dean. The two of them are out. That would lead into a one-lap overtime shootout. The only competition Ruggiero really had at the end was Daniel Dye, but Dye couldn't get to his bumper to make a move there. And Ruggiero earns Joe Gibbs's first ARCA Series win on a super speedway. Did not realize that they hadn't won one of those. They've been racing ARCA for a long time as well. Neat for Ruggiero to have his name linked to that win. Moving right along, next topic, Tony Stewart, back in a truck. I was a kid in Pocono the last time I saw Smoke race. Luckily, got to see him up close and personal in the truck garages as he makes his return to NASCAR. As we know, he was in the All-Star seat for Ram racing the 25. This was my first time ever seeing Tony up close and personal like that, and it was so awesome. He is intimidating, angrier than an onion out there, but it is just so neat. Seeing that up close, how he prepares, getting into the car, the belts, the buckles, the Hans device. So beyond awesome to see that up close. Unfortunately for Tony, the race did not work out in his favor. He tangles with Jake Garcia and doesn't even finish. Hope with the partnership with Ram, we see Tony back in a truck before this season ends. And with the way the ratings went as well, I think NASCAR would want that also. And that wraps up Discussions with Dave, Part 1. Now for Paint Scheme of the Week. As we saw with the Fox documentary, and throughout the weekend, it was the 25th anniversary of the passing of Dale Earnhardt Sr. In the following races after that, Kevin Harvick was the driver that filled that seat. And RCR did not race the number 3 car. It went to 29, and it was not the black Good Wrench paint scheme that we were accustomed seeing Dale in. It was a white version of that with 29. The first time coming to Atlanta, the young Harvick was victorious, bringing well-needed excitement and relief to the sport at that time. And that is our paint scheme of the week. Now for NASCAR history time, Atlanta. Fireball Roberts. When it opened in 1960, Atlanta International Raceway was designed as a traditional mile-and-a-half oval, becoming the 7th paved track of 1 mile or longer on the NASCAR circuit. The facility began operations that same year as its sister track, Charlotte Motor Speedway, and just 1 year after Daytona International Speedway was debuted. The track's inaugural event was the Dixie 300, July 31st, 1960. Hall of Famer Fireball Roberts claimed the victory from the pole position in a 60 Pontiac prepared by the renowned mechanic Smokey Yunick. Despite his success that day, it would stand as Fireball's only win at Atlanta. If you're a NASCAR historian, names like Smokey Yunick, Fireball Roberts, if that doesn't get you going, I don't know what will. But that is this episode's edition of NASCAR History Time. We'll go over the 1992 season finale Atlanta race in NASCAR History Time on the second episode this week. Check out that as well. Now for our interview with Truck Series driver Andrés Pérez de Lara, who competes full-time for Nice Motorsports, driving their number 44 Chevy entry. Great to chat with this driver from Mexico City. Here's what Andrés had to say. Next driver, we bring on the Splash of Gas. Drives full-time in the Truck Series for Nice Motorsports in the 44 Chevy, Andrés Pérez de Lara. Thank you so much for joining, Andrés.
Hello, thank you for having me, sir.
Yeah, of course. Great to talk to you. You're from Mexico City. You started racing karts when you were 11, and how was that experience for you? A little bit different than the traditional driver, but how was growing up racing karts there in your hometown?
Yeah, for sure. I think the story and the background I've got is very different from what a normal NASCAR driver has in here, and that also has its benefits, but it also has its challenges. And I think that helps me in the road course stuff. And I grew up road course background, but I've been in the NASCAR stuff for a long time now. So I feel like I feel in home, and hearing, the NASCAR stuff, and we're ready for my second year in the Truck Series season. So really excited about that.
Yeah, awesome. Excited to watch you continue to build on what you've already built. You're the 2022 NASCAR Mexico Challenge Series champ and a graduate of the NASCAR Drive for Diversity program. What was it like winning that championship in 2022?
Man, I think the NASCAR Mexico stuff was really helpful for my career, and it really helped me get into the NASCAR Drive for Diversity, to be honest. And also that championship in 22 was also my, we were really good that year. And that same year I did my first start here in the US in the ARCA car. So I feel like that was a really good year. And then that helped me establish myself here and get that stuff with Drive for Diversity, which were also really, really helpful to my career. The 2 years in the ARCA car with them and the championship in 24. I just feel like if it wasn't for them and rev racing all them guys, I wouldn't be in the position I am today. So I'm always really thankful. And yeah, I think that all came with the NASCAR Mexico stuff as well.
Awesome. Definitely prepares you for sure. Talking about your first full-time ARCA season in 2023, I mean, you were also competing full-time in the NASCAR Mexico Series. I mean, how were you able to juggle both of those series? It seems like a very busy schedule.
Oh yeah, it definitely was very busy. With us all the travel, there was a couple of races that I had to go race ARCA Friday and then fly straight to the race in Mexico. So I think it was really chaotic on the travel side, but it was really helpful on just the seat time and all the experience I keep having those couple of years. Just the seat time always is good. And we were really successful in both, and I think I enjoyed my time. And like I said, it just helped me got better and be more prepared to when I took that step into the national series in the US. So yeah, it was definitely very busy, but it was a really cool experience to do, and I think it was very helpful as well.
Awesome. And then just like you were mentioning, 2024, you get the ARCA Championship. I mean, you're the first Mexican-born driver to win that title in 72 years at that point. What did that mean to you?
That was also a really awesome year. Being the first non-American driver to win the ARCA Championship, the national championship. Just it really helped my career as well. And no, it was an awesome year. Also big learning, but also establishing, and having some good results as well. So no, I think every single step in that has been the right direction, and it helped me have the jump to the Truck Series full time in 25, which was a very challenging season as well. Ups and downs, but I think we found a good landing spot with Nice middle of the year, and I think keeping the momentum for this year is also very important.
Yeah, you make your Truck Series debut with Spire in 2024, and then you just like you mentioned, run full time. You do leave Spire, about halfway through last year, and then land at Nice, just like you said. How was that transition for you?
Yeah, I think changing teams middle of the year, it's always hard, but I think our transition was good. I felt like I had a good landing spot here at Nice, like I said, and it kind of like rolling since the beginning. We had some good runs and helped me build my confidence up, and just like the good runs we had and the good runs we could have had, just a couple bad lucks and stuff that prevented us from even having better results. But no, I think it was a good change, and like I said, it felt that good that trying to keep it for these years, it was important for us, and heading into our first full year with Nice with with the same group we had in 25, and the continuity it gives me and just the preparation is better, so I'm really excited about that, and the results should show on track for this year.
Got that right. You're just in your fourth race with Nice last year in New Hampshire was in the grandstands. You lead almost 50 laps. I mean, definitely getting your feet wet and familiar with those guys. But did you feel like the time with Nice at the end of last year gives you almost a head start on this year?
Yeah, for sure. That's how I see it. It was good preparation for this year. That is what is going to matter. We're putting everything together to have a good year, to be the year where we establish ourselves better in the Truck Series. And yeah, New Hampshire was great. I think nobody expected us to be that good in there, not even myself. Never been to that track, and then having all those laps led and actually having the speed to be up front, was really good. And we're looking to have more of those this year.
Gotcha. Yeah, really hope to see the 44 up front as well. You mentioned that New Hampshire was the first time you've been to that track. I mean, last year was your first full-time season. When you're going to a track for the first time, how are you preparing as a driver?
Well, Atlanta it's similar to Daytona, but it always has its difficulties, and every track is different. I feel like the momentum from Daytona helps, but it's a whole different thing if you see it that way as well. So I feel like we're ready for Atlanta. Gotta be smart as well. Gotta be there at the end, and I'm excited because I feel much more comfortable than last year. And hopefully our truck's fast from the beginning, and we can put ourselves in position at the end to have a shot.
Yeah, definitely a quick track for sure. Hopefully you can rebound after the suspension issue you had last year in Atlanta. Touching on this past Friday was an exciting race that came down to the wire. You start 28th and come up with a P13 finish. How would you say your day at Daytona went last Friday?
Yeah, I think it was a good day overall. We cannot say it was a bad day, because we finished the race with our with a clean truck and a lot of experience, and just wish we could have put ourselves in a little better position to have a better shot at it. But I'm not too mad about how it went, and yeah, I think it gives us good momentum and good points today for that, and it should help to keep on the good rhythm for the year.
Awesome. Appreciate the insight there. You mentioned that you're excited to run this whole season with Nice Motorsports. You just going over that you switched teams mid season with them last year. How's it been working like with everyone over there? Sounds like they have a big family aspect.
Yeah, I feel like I feel really cool, really good in the team. Cool with all the people. I got a good working relationship with my people, with my crew. So no, just been enjoying the experience and just trying to take advantage of everything they have to offer to me. And yeah, I feel like we're in a good spot. They really have good trust in me for this year, and I got in them too. So hopefully we're as competitive as we think we're going to be, and we can put the results in soon.
Awesome. That's great to hear. I was also asking this question to Tyler earlier as well. Have you ran that dirt track behind the track there, or behind the shop?
I have, yeah. It's really cool. I do it every now and then, and I love going to it. And it's also a very cool thing about Nice, how it feels, and we're all having fun as well.
Exactly. It's all about having fun. It looks like a lot of fun too. I do like to ask this question with guys that drive, different types of cars from time to time. I mean, what's the main difference, the similarities from the ARCA car to the trucks for you?
I'd say the truck just feels like more downforce, more side force, compared to what the ARCA car felt like. But in the end, it's a very similar feeling and very similar, driving style. You just gotta adapt to all the different aerodynamics and the tires as well. So I'd say the experience you get in the ARCA car helps a lot, and it's a really, really good transition. And yes.
Got it. Thanks for touching upon that. I really do appreciate that insight. And last question, it's a long season, and of course you want to win races. What I mean, besides winning, what are your goals for 2026?
We want to be in the chase. We want to have a shot to the championship, and I think with the consistency we can do it. And like I said, I think winning a race would be also one of my goals for this year. I think there's a couple of racetracks that suit me well, and if we put everything together, I think we could have a shot. So I'm really confident we're going to be fighting for that. And yeah, just be in the chase and having a shot at the championship would be another of our goals.
Awesome. We really hope we get to see the 44 up front throughout this year. Best of luck in Atlanta, Andrés, and safe travels out there. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you. Thank you very much, and hopefully we get to talk soon as well.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you.
Would love to do that. Thank you again. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
Yep, have a good one.
What a great chat with the driver from Mexico City. Now for discussions with Dave, part 2. Some people can knock Ram with the way they did that reality show Race for the Seat, plus all the suspense with their announcing of who's going to drive the All-Star truck the following week. But hey, I do kind of like it. It does make it exciting. Also, I am kind of glued to their social medias when they are making those announcements. And just before the Daytona race, they announced who is going to be driving the truck in Atlanta. No other than NASCAR Cup Series driver Ty Dillon. Was talking to Ty on the show last year when the bracket challenge was going on. As we know, him and his brother have had success in the trucks before. Can Ty Dillon be running up front? I sure think so. And with Calc not having an alliance this year at the Cup level, not to knock their Cup program at all, but these opportunities for Ty are probably the best he's going to have to win a race throughout 2026. More power to him. Excited for him to get in the trucks in Atlanta. More Truck Series, silly season news going on still in the regular season. Adam Andretti to join Tricon Garage for multiple truck races in 2026. Tricon announced this week that veteran road racer Adam Andretti is signed on to run multiple races with Tricon. Following in the footsteps of his father, Aldo, brother John, uncle Mario, and cousins Michael and Marco, the second-generation driver hails from a decorated motorsports family, having distinguished himself as an accomplished racer with nearly 30 years of competitive racing experience. Since 2014, the now 46-year-old has been a fixture in the Trans Am Series, earning TA2 Rookie of the Year honors, along with 8 wins, 5 poles, and nearly 40 podiums across the TA and TA2 divisions. Great to see a name like Andretti, that is historic throughout motorsports, be back in NASCAR. Moving right along, and raise hell, praise Bobby Dale. Bobby Dale Earnhardt places 9th in his career best ARCA Series finish at Daytona. Last episode, one of our previews, we were going over Bobby Dale's paint scheme, a throwback to his grandfather, Dale Earnhardt's black Goodwrench paint scheme. And on Saturday morning, the 4th generation driver piloted the '89 Chevy through late race carnage, finishing 9th in a career best finish for Bobby Dale, who spent most of the race in the back of the pack before making a late charge in the final laps. And if you don't know, Bobby Dale is the son of Kerry Earnhardt. Bobby Dale's brother is Jeffrey Earnhardt, and nephew to Dale Earnhardt Jr. Great to see an Earnhardt top of the boards in one of the NASCAR's top divisions. Last topic on discussions with Dave for this episode, Jimmie Johnson retiring from NASCAR. We just saw Jimmie Johnson run the Daytona 500 in the '84, but now Johnson has officially put an end date on his NASCAR Series career. Since retiring, Johnson has ran races here and there, last couple 500s, and some of the big races, Coca-Cola 600, Southern 500, along those lines. Johnson has said that the 2027 Daytona 500 will be his final race. That will put a bow on the illustrious career of the 7-time NASCAR Cup Series champ. That wraps up this episode's edition of Discussions with Dave. Now for trivia answer time. This episode's question is, with all 3 series heading to Atlanta this upcoming weekend, what driver all time has the most Cup Series wins there? We were just talking about him. Dale Earnhardt Sr. has 9 victories at Atlanta, which makes him the most successful driver at the track in NASCAR history. Earnhardt is the only driver to have more than 8 Cup Series victories at the venue, as Cale Yarborough carries 7 wins to his name. Earnhardt's last win in Atlanta came in 2000, including 4 wins from '86 to '90. What a record for Dale. As always, we're sponsored by Magical Travel with Dave, aka Disney Dave Weichert, my father. He will be able to help you with all your Disney and Universal vacation needs. He can be reached at DisneyDaveW@Verizon.net. Please make sure you follow all the Splash of Gas social medias for midweek and on-track updates. Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube are all Splash of Gas with Dave Weichert. Hope everyone has a fantastic weekend and gets to watch the racing from Atlanta. Stay tuned for our second post-Daytona episode later this week. Till next time, everybody, Splash of Gas out.